Hey, folks, my guest today is Daniel Melkerson. He is the CEO and founder of a company called PinMe2. It's a SaaS platform that connects multi-location brands with the biggest search, map, and social media platforms, letting them keep their business information up to date everywhere, manage reviews, and maximize their social reach all from one place. Daniel, you ready to take us to the top?
Yeah, sure.
This is great. So, like, if I own a little restaurant in Austin, Texas, and I need my Google Place thing updated and my search results updated and my whatever Yelp thing updated, I can basically manage all the metadata on PinMe2.
Yeah, exactly. So we got one platform to handle all sorts of listing networks around the world. Could be a search network, could be map services, GPS services in cars, and social media services.
Now, when you last came on back in 2019, this was pre-COVID, which is sort of interesting. I remember you saying, I believe you had, let's see, about 200 customers. You were selling it for about $800 a month. And so you were doing right around a $2 million run rate. How did COVID impact you?
We got really scared in March last year, but what we did then was that actually we contacted the customers we had in hospitality industry and just said, okay, let's pause your payments for the upcoming 3 months and see what happens with COVID. And then after 4 months, everyone was back and paying again. So I think that was a good thing that we actually reached out. And we've been keeping growing pretty okay. Very, very low churn. Still, we're very focused on location-based businesses. A lot of them got hurt during COVID, but on the other hand, a lot of the retailers needed our tool to, say this store is closed now because of COVID, or they want to go out and say, hey, all these stores for example, in Shanghai needs to be closed now, but we open up soon again. And so it's been good for us. And we also switched focus when it comes to the verticals we sell to. So we focused a lot on the verticals that are, still alive and kicking during COVID. So I think we did good. Yeah.
And so how many paying customers do you have today, and what verticals are your top three?
So we have around 550 paying customers today. The top three verticals are still retail, also EV charging and gas stations. Kind of goes hand in hand today. Gas stations needs to pivot into EV chargings as well. So that's the two biggest, I guess. And then I would say hospitality still. Yeah.
Hospitality. Interesting. And is the average customer still paying you about $800 a month?
Yeah, around 800, a little bit above 800. I would say 900 today.
And dig into your pricing a bit for my audience here. What's the difference between someone paying you $200 a month versus $10,000 a month? In other words, what do you upsell against?
So we upsell against the number of locations, because they're location-based businesses, multi-location businesses. For example, one of the customers we work with, H&M, they have stores all around the world, so they pay per store. So we upsell with the number of locations if they grow by locations, and then we cross-sell with other products on the platform.
I see. Okay. Location-based upselling, feature-based upselling. That's both great. Help me understand. Don't name the customer, obviously, but what's your largest customer account? What are they paying you per year?
They're paying us 300,000 US.
Okay. That's getting up there. And you're probably getting, are you generally moving upstream or downstream?
We're really trying to move upstream, and I think we are, but we kind of have the same kind of average deal size the last 2 years, and I think we're doing really good there. So
hey, if it works, there's a model for everyone, right? So if it's working, it's working, right? And from what I hear you say is you had 200 customers 2 years ago, you have 550 now. That sounds like pretty good growth to me.
Yeah, I would say not super big enterprises is our sweet spot, but large multi-location businesses.
Yep.
That's
now,
our sweet spot.
You shared last time you did not bootstrap this. You raised 25K seed round in 2014. You raised, I think, 580,000 venture round in 2017. And you raised, I think, 2.3 million Series A in 2018. Are those correct?
Yes.
Have you raised since then or no?
Just a small round with the investors we already had on board almost a year ago now. But we haven't used the money yet, so that's a good thing. We kind of did it just because of we could. COVID. It was a good opportunity.
Yeah. So it's an insider round. And are we talking like $1 million or like 10 million?
No, it's a small. It's 2 million.
About 2 million. Okay.
Yeah.
So then to date, you've raised total something like $5 million.
Yeah.
Interesting. And so Were you just nervous about because obviously you got diluted raising another 2 million from insiders about a year ago, but you're also probably nervous about COVID. Cash cushion probably feels good. Why'd you do it?
Yeah, we did it because of growth, to hire more people, open new offices, especially sales offices. But we kind of had a good year when it comes to sales. So we have done what we wanted this year without using the money we took in the last round.
That's great.
But we're really gonna try to use them next year. But as long as we can grow with the customers' money, that's a great thing, you know.
So you have more than 2 million cash in the bank today.
Yes.
That's great. So yeah, nice cushion. You can use it for hiring, acquiring, whatever you want. How many folks on the team today?
Almost 80. I think 78.
78. Wow. Okay. Very cool. Now, talk to me a little bit more about what you think like next moves are here, right? How do you go? I'm guessing here, if you have 550 customers at $800 a month, you're doing about 5.2 million in terms of run rate right now.
Yeah.
How do you go from 5.2 up to like, 10 or 20 million bucks in revenue?
The focus we are a very sales oriented company. So very much sales excellence. We're opening new hubs around the world. Working very locally when it comes to the culture of the salespeople. So, for example, but we're trying to keep the costs down. So, for example, I can give you an example. In Europe, there's very different from country to country, the costs of living and the costs of having employees and so on. So, but in sales, it's all about feeling the other person comfortable. That the person is selling you has the same culture as you and so on. So, for example, we have quite a lot of people born and raised in the UK living in Poland today for different reasons. And we have them selling to the UK, which for us is way, way cheaper to have people hired in Poland. But still, they sell in the UK and the customers in the UK and the leads we talk to, they experience them as, a UK office.
And so how many sales reps do you have then today that have a quota?
Around 40, 35, 40.
That's a massive sale. They all carry a quota?
They 35 carry a quota for sure.
Wow. Okay. So the total sales team is like 40 and then quota carrying is 35.
Yeah. And we hired this year was salespeople. So
wow.
We didn't
what's their quota, Daniel? If I joined, let's say you hired me this year, what would you tell me my first year quota is?
It depends on what market you're selling to, because we always see that the first 6 months it's like just getting started, make sure you have enough quotes out, and then you start closing deals. So the first 6 months, I wouldn't say you have any quota, but you need to have a lot of momentum, and make sure you have a lot of quotes out, a lot of meetings, and from that on, I would say in US dollars per month, around 10,000. That's it for the first year. And then you ramp it up.
So I should be closing 10,000 of new monthly recurring revenue per month as a sales rep.
Yeah. After a year.
After a year.
After a year. Yeah.
Yeah. So if it's 10K a month of new MRR and I do that as a sales rep for you for 12 months, I'm basically each sales rep should be adding about $120,000 of new monthly recurring revenue annually.
Yeah.
Now, obviously your whole sales team is not ramped up yet, because if you did that with 35 people, you'd be doing 30, 40, 50 million bucks in revenue.
We're not, we were only not even half of those people when we went into 2021.
Wow. Yeah. So many of them are still in that 6-month period where you're still ramping them up.
Exactly.
Yeah. Very interesting. And do you follow toward a sort of standard here? In other words, ignore the ramp up period. Once the sales rep's fully onboarded, are they making, $200,000 on target earnings if they hit their $1 million quota? Is that sort of the range?
Yeah, it is. I would say you're quite right there.
Yeah. I mean, there's a pretty standard playbook there. So I only want to ask more questions if you're deviating from the playbook for any reason.
No, we're boring.
I don't think you're boring. I think you're doing the right things.
No. Yeah, but I think the playbook you're talking about, I think that's the one most people should go by. It's a good one.
And how many engineers are on the team?
It's around 12, I think now. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We're trying to ramp that up, but it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah. What makes it hard?
It's hard to hire. It's not hard to hire developers if you can go whatever, but we also want really specialized in what we do, that are familiar, very used to work with the big tech companies and the technologies they use and so on. So we're quite picky when it comes to the developers we want, and we also try to keep them quite close. So we have done a lot of people that actually moved to Sweden for different reasons, from US, from China, from all over the world, to work close by. So we try to keep the team really close, and maybe this is against what everyone says today. We really like that actually to have the possibility to physically meet up, because R&D works better that way. That's just the way I see things. Faster, not bad, maybe not better, but faster.
Yep. And talk to me a bit about churn here at this price point. What's gross churn? What's expansion? What's net dollar retention?
I don't have all the numbers, sorry, in my head, but we have a gross churn around 3%.
Okay. Annually or monthly?
Annually on revenue.
Okay. Yep. You told me 2 years ago your expansion was about 20%. Do you feel like you're doing a better job expanding today than you were then?
I think we're doing pretty much the same. We have a lot more to do here. We have been so focused on, go get new customers in. So we really, this year is the first year we really focused on upsales and cross sales. So
Daniel, how does Penny 2 fit into like how you think about your personal net worth and your personal well-being? Like, and can you be sort of greedy here? Are you the sole founder?
No, we are 3 founders and a few investors.
Yep.
So
did you guys split the 3 founders? Did you guys split it evenly back in 2014 or 2013?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Okay, got it. So 33, 33, 33. You've brought on some of these investors. How do you, you just raised the 2 million insider round. Usually you're selling like what, 10 to 15% of the business doing that?
No. Well, it was actually less.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's a big deal. That's great. That's great. Anytime I hear something that's not standard, I want to understand why. So how were you able to get away with raising 2 million and selling less than 10%?
All the investors that were already on board was quite happy what they already have, and also could see that with the money now we can really grow and make more value of the ownership they already had. Okay. So there wasn't that bad, that dilution in that round.
Yeah. Was it less than 5%? I won't push you harder than that.
It was pretty much in the middle of 5 and 10.
Okay. Got it. Yeah. So you were raising that was basically at a $28 million pre-money valuation, something like that.
Something like that. I'm not allowed to say.
So Daniel, I would argue that's actually a fairly low multiple. If you're doing 4 million in revenue when you did that deal, that's basically 5x multiple. But I've seen deals where, these are like 10, 20, 30x multiples. Why didn't you run a formal process and try and get some more competition?
To focus on the business.
Yeah. So this was a quick round.
That's it.
To get money quick. It wasn't a long process.
Yeah. And just make everyone happy. We have really good owners and investors. So yes, okay, let's just do this.
Yeah.
And keep working with the business.
And is my math right? If you're doing about $440,000 a month today in revenue, you were doing about $350,000 exactly a year ago.
Yeah, a little bit less, actually.
A little less. Okay, yes. This is great. This is a good growth story. Now, it's been a year since that last raise. World's coming out of COVID. You guys have great momentum. Are you looking at raising right now?
No. I'm not 100% sure we will do that. There's so many good other solutions today. I know you have one, for example, and so on for businesses like ours.
Love to work. I would love to work. We've got $100 million we have to put to work. So I would love to work with you.
Yeah. So we probably look at that kind of structure instead of maybe raising in the usual way of raising.
Yeah. I love that. I love the alternative approach. Now, what is that approach like in Sweden? Do you have a lot of options, or is it hard? You probably have government programs and your insiders. Yeah. What's the rest of the ecosystem like?
There's more and more solutions for lending. It just started a new company doing this, a new fund doing this. People, been working with the larger banks that got tired of, they saw the opportunity and started their own funds now.
Yeah.
So there's more and more of that coming in Sweden and in this part of Europe as well.
after dilution, again, you raised, through a Series A now. I'm going to maybe guess you still own like 15 to 20% of the company personally. So let's say, like, the reason I'm asking this is a lot of founders at your stage, they look at their equity value and they go, man, I really want to go buy a house or have some kids or start a family, but all my net worth is tied in my SaaS company. Do you ever have that feeling? And what are your options to like potentially diversify?
I already have the kids. I already done the whole thing. I've done the kids. I've done the divorce. so
you're past your life MVP.
I'm past. I've already peaked. So everything is a bonus from here.
I love that.
Not really. Not really. I'm quite happy where I am right now. I have a really good co-CEO now. I can do a lot of things within the company that I love to do, where I really see that I still put a lot of value into the company. So no stress at all on the private side. No.
What if someone, like if an investor listening and came and offered each of you three co-founders $1 million each, so $3 million total for 15%, but you guys could take it all personally as secondary? Do you? Is that something that early stage founders? Does that get you excited or no?
I'm not excited, but I cannot talk for my other two co-founders.
What about is that your wife behind you that just walked by?
No, it was actually my son. He's just got long hair.
Oh my gosh, sorry about that. That's like my brother. He has like super long hair. He like plays guitar in the woods all day. He's great. All right, apologize for that.
That same kind of guy that just popped by behind me.
I love that. All right, very cool. Let's wrap up here, Daniel. Number one, what's your favorite business book?
Let's see. I'm actually reading Scaling Up right now.
It's a good one. Number two, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
I always like Gary Vaynerchuk because he's the way he is.
Yeah. Number three, what's your favorite online tool for scaling PinMe2?
I would say PlanHat and Unium, both Swedish. PlanHat for customer success.
What do you use to manage all your remote employees? Like to pay them out, like payroll, taxes, all that kind of stuff?
We're using a Swedish company called Fortnox.
Fortnox, interesting.
Yeah, it's a Swedish company. Unium is a Swedish company to do invoices for SaaS. Really interesting company if you want to talk to another Swedish interesting company.
I'd love to. I want to feature more Swedish founders. So now I would love that intro. That'd be great.
Then the other one is PlanHat for customer success. Also really good too. So.
Okay. Number four, how many hours of sleep are you getting every night?
Between 6 and 8.
Okay. And situation, married, single, did you remarry?
No.
Okay. So single. So divorced, how many kiddos?
2.
2 kids. Okay. And how old are you, Daniel?
I'm 45.
45. Last question. Something you wish you knew when you were 20.
That I did exactly what I did when I was 20. Enjoy life. You can do other things later on.
Guys, there you have it. PinMe2 helps 550 customers like gas stations or EV charging stations, restaurants manage their metadata across Google search, reviews, Yelp, etc. They're now doing about $800 per month per customer. So they're doing about $440,000 a month, up from $340,000 or $320,000 about a year ago. So healthy growth. They just raised another $2 million in an insider round that caught like a $28 million valuation, but very, very capital efficient. They have less money raised than their total revenue run rate today, which we love. Daniel, thanks for taking us to the top.
Thank you.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com /Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.